What's up, guys? Adolfo here with eXp Realty. So I have a very special guest today, Mr. Raul Rosado. He's one of my partners and affiliate lender here with Arcus Lending. Raul?
How you guys doing? Adolfo, thank you very much. It's a pleasure, talking to you since this coronavirus thing has been going on. Obviously, we've been all quarantined to our own little spaces. So I'm glad to see you're doing well, and I hope your family's doing well as well.
Thank you, man. Likewise, I appreciate it, brother. So, Raul, we have a few questions for you, and so what we're gonna do, you're gonna make sure that people understand, the whole buying process, and also a little bit about COVID-19. Sounds good?
Sure, definitely.
Okay. So, the question number one is, what does a buyer have to do, or what does a buyer need in order to buy a home?
Well, first of all, the buyer should automatically talk to an expert, right? Either a real estate agent or a loan officer, someone to kind of go over their information, because every individual is different, okay? Especially a new first-time home buyer. So you're going to have the basics, of course, a basic understanding of your credit, a basic understanding of the collateral that you're going to be purchasing, and then learning the true cost of home ownership. We want everyone to understand in regards to the home buying process from A to Z. And one of the first things we do is sit down with the clients and kind of go over that information with them. They should always seek the expert advice from a real estate agent or a loan officer.
Thank you, Raul. I appreciate that, and I'm very glad that you mentioned that, because I come across buyers every day, and sometimes I have a few of them that used to work with a different agent, and they tell me that some agents, even some lenders, don't tell them about the process and just have them sign paperwork without them knowing what it is. So I'm glad you brought that up, Raul. So another question is, I heard this special programs for people who just graduated from college, right? So can you tell us a little bit more details about that?
Yeah, in fact, just to kind of give you a quick example. So FHA will allow us to qualify an individual that has been a professional career in college. So for example, if you went for an engineering degree in college and now you work for Motorola, your engineering degree for the last 2 years, even though you weren't compensated, FHA will consider that as your employment. Okay, so what they'll do is they'll take that 2 years of transcript of college history and they will transfer it to your work. And once you get that employment, you're moving forward with it, whether you just got on the job a month, 3 months, or 6 months, we're able to use your college history.
Perfect, Raul. Sounds good. Now, there's people that are getting ready to buy a home, right? And there's some things that they should and shouldn't do. Can you give us some information on that?
So that goes back to the same idea of getting them to talk to a professional first, right? Because we're going to be able to let them know exactly what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. Most of the times, we always, as tradition, just basically say, if you're ready to buy a home or you're applying for a house, don't go out and don't basically purchase things like on credit cards or go get a furniture account, things like that. But in some cases, what we find is if we sit down with the individual and go over that information, maybe it's a good idea for them to open up a credit card or for them to go ahead and get a credit account, just so they can get a better credit score and we're able to get them better loans, better interest rates, better programs.
Okay, Raul, great. So, we're going through this whole COVID-19, coronavirus, Rona, whatever you want to call it, right? So there's people, some people are getting scared. So can you tell us a little bit more about how has COVID-19 affected the mortgage lending side and also, the potential buyers? What is it doing for them?
Well, we have a pool of lenders that we go through, about 30 of them through Arcus Lending. And one of the things that they do is we get guideline changes throughout since COVID-19 has started. So we're able to qualify some clients on some of the programs that used to be available, and then there are programs that are no longer available based on market conditions. Some of the things, like the biggest thing we have we're working on right now is verification of employment. Verification of employment is very crucial to a lender. we want to make sure that by the time we are ready to close and sign loan documents, that the person's still employed. If there's a problem with that, then obviously we're not going to be able to close. And that is to protect the individual as well as to protect the buyers and sellers and the banking system. To make sure that the loans that we basically do are great loans and people are able to basically continue to make their mortgage payment. So a lot of is there's a lot more restrictions, but we're still able to navigate through a lot of either.
Okay, Raul, appreciate that. So this is my last question. Okay, so some people may be thinking about buying a home right now. Some of them are saying, I'm going to wait until the market goes down because they think there's going to be a recession like what happened back in 2008. So can you please let them know from the lender's perspective what you think about that?
Well, Adolfo, first thing I always say is, for a buyer, the best time to buy a house was 5 years ago, right? The second best time to buy a house is now. No matter what, the opportunity is there for you to purchase a home. You're always going to end up paying rent someplace else. You're actually paying someone else's mortgage. So throughout the time that you're searching for this house or you're waiting for these equities to drop or home values or the interest rates have never been this low before. Rates are at their lowest point that they ever have been. Even though equity is up a bit, we're not going to see a huge drop in equity. There are so many protections in place from what happened in 2008 that we're not going to see things like that. So best opportunity for your buyer is get qualified now. Let's look at the opportunity. What area they want to live in, what the mortgage payment they want to do. And a lot of times we're able to figure out that here's the best because no matter what, once the interest rates start going up, then what we're going to do is we're going to see a change in regards to the value at that point. But as of right now, values aren't going anywhere. Equities are going to go down. You're not going to have the same that happened in 2008. There's so much support and systems in place to stop that from happening. It won't happen.
All right, Raul. Hey, I appreciate your time today. I know we've been working together quite a bit. And is there anything else you'd like to add? Maybe you want to give your contact information so people can reach out to you?
Sure. Hey, you know what? Like I said, first things first, speak with a professional. That's the idea. Get the clients to basically talk to someone first before they make any decision on moving forward. What they're going to do is they're going to find out is where their credit's at, where their financials are at, how much they need to afford, what their monthly obligations would be, and then learn the true cost of home ownership. Being aware of how it works and where to start doesn't cost you anything. Just basically a half an hour, 45-minute conversation with either your lender or with your realtor. Okay? And so one of the things that we can do is, hey, feel free to reach out to me. I'm available Monday through Monday from 9 to 9 daily. They can reach me at 562-201-9562. Again, that's the direct line, 951. I'm sorry, 562-201-9562. And if they want to email me, they can email me at raul.c.rosado@outlook. And I'll be able to help them out.
All right, Raul. Hey, thanks very much for your time. Keep up the great work. And I'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Same to you.